first of all, you know you have fans from all over the world, and here is just different flags and tells some of the names. Joanne Merchant is here today. She loves you, but just everybody wanted to tell you hello.
Awesome.
And they wish they could be here.
Very cool.
Then, in collaboration with Bobby Sellers and I, we had this made for you.
Very, very cool.
I don't know where you want that, or if you want it on the bus, or you want it at home, or we just hope you like
I'll put it at home. I'll put it up and with all the other plaques and everything. So very cool.
And my daughter and I worked really, really hard on this, and we hope you appreciate it.
So that's from the...
From you recording your first CD.
I remember they were like, I think CMT was in there that day, and they were doing these liners, and I was just lip syncing everything because everything was already recorded. And they're in a... We were actually recording tracks for a couple songs, and they were like, just don't hit these buttons right here. So I started poking buttons like, what happens if I poke that one? They told me not to poke this.
Didn't mess anything up though.
No, they fixed everything.
Yeah.
So.
Wasn't hard to fix.
You know, it was the first night of the... Either the first or second. This
is the second
night. It might have been the second night. I don't remember which one it was. I was... might have been the first night. Oh yeah, it was the first night because I think I had different boots on. I had to change my boots, I think, because we had a ramp. Those ramps. Well, yeah, the ramps that came off the sides like this to the drum riser. And right before the show, because we didn't have like any way for me to get on stage, so I just had to run, jump off Eric's keyboard platform up onto the thing, basically take one step on the deal, because I only had like 2 seconds from the time it was dark to what was light, and I had to be standing there in the light, right? And we were gonna try to have me climb up from behind the drums when it was completely dark and just walk right around, that way it came on and I was there. But boy, I hit that. It might have been. It was the second night, because the first night I almost didn't make it. I ran and I jumped, and when I tripped, my foot slipped, so I didn't quite make it up onto the platform, the riser. I saw that. So the next night, I changed boots.
Yeah.
I was like, that was almost bad. That would have not been bad.
Those are my arms. Yeah, and it looks like they're coming in, and it's pretty cool. Was that a great day or what?
That was fun. Top 20 Countdown was really fun. Lots of fun. Really cool cars. It was a pretty neat place.
Number 3 that week.
Do you want something to drink?
Oh, is this at the
Yellowpalooza?
Yellowpalooza.
Sorry.
The hot dog throwing skills.
Yep. Do you remember saying that?
Oh boy.
My daughter made them shirts too. It's pretty cool. You always say that every show and
That was pretty cool right there. George Brett, I remember Jim, the guy that kind of, I don't remember his last name right now. He's in charge of all the people, like if you do any, if you sing the national anthem at the Royals games or all that, he's in charge of like kind of getting you where you need to be and all that. I remember seeing George when I walked out, and I said, man, I'd love to talk to him for just a minute. He's like, oh, we'll send him up. He'll be up there anyway. We'll send him up to your sweet thing. I was like, all right. So before that, I was down in the tunnel, getting ready, singing it, practicing. Hardest song you'll ever sing is the national anthem. You know it. You've sung it 1,000 times. You know all the words right up until you're supposed to sing. And then you're like, hey, where am I at? You know, pretty awesome. Well, I was able to see myself on the big monitor, which was actually worse for me because I was watching myself sing, so it was the time delay was a little different. So I had to close my eyes or focus on the big flag out there. I was just kind of watching them people shake the big flag and finish.
That's pretty cool.
And then right at the end, where's that? And the Rockets Ric Flair. When I got to that point, I knew if I don't screw up, when I get there, as long as I haven't screwed up by then, I'm home free.
I think you did perfect.
So, that's tough though. That was crazy. That was so much fun. I was supposed to do it again. Craig wanted me to come back down and ride again and stuff and perform. But
I love the jersey and the cowboy hat. I think they should all wear those.
that was cool. Good Morning America. What a weird deal. You literally walk in, you gotta be there at 4:30 in the morning. Yeah, Rob had to be up at 2 in the morning.
Wow.
Because he had to be there first.
Wow.
And it was absolutely crazy. Oh, this is from all this stuff.
Not all of them, but you get the gist.
Diff Joe was so cool to me. Riding with me was awesome. But after we wrote I Got This and other song, and just when we did that show with him, it was hilarious because we're on the buses and everything, and we sound check, and he was like, "Now, boy, I want to hear that song we wrote." So I said, "Okay." So we go out to sound check. They were done, and we played it during sound check, and he was like, "Sounds great. That's good right there." So we get back on the bus, and we're talking, hanging out. It was just cool because that night he went out in a Tate Stevens t-shirt. He wore my t-shirt,
awesome.
and I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah.
You gotta like that. Yeah.
Yep. I knew it was there.
That was not. I was kind of intoxicated right in this area, just right in here. It was not. We were both a little intoxicated. Probably the coolest. I've never really been starstruck. And I was talking to Roger Carson and some of the 104 gang, and he said, "Man," he asked me, he's like, "You ever met George?" And I said, "I haven't met him, never." And he goes, "Me neither." He goes, "This is awesome. I'm excited to meet him." And I was like, "Yeah, you know," I said, I'm feeling anxious. I'm like really kind of weirded out. And he's like, "I know, me too." And one of the girls from one of the, I don't remember who it was, might have been Cody or somebody was standing there also, and they were like, "You know, why?" And so they said something about he's just a guy. You know, and I said, "Yeah, but he's George Strait. I mean, that's King George. That guy. I mean, he's the reason that 90% of country singers want to do this. You know, his music and him. He's just cool. You know, I mean, he doesn't do anything. He walks out and he's like, I'm really cool. I'm a lot cooler than everybody else here." You know, and it's kind of cool.
What?
But he, when he walked in, I was like, I was a couple back, you know, and I'm like, cool, man. You know, he's there, a little bit. And I remember it was my turn, and I straight went like fangirl on him. I did. Never in my life have I done that. I didn't know what to say. I was
first
like,
time I ever met you, I was the same way.
I was like,
same way.
how you doing? And I was like trying to hand him my ticket for him to sign, and he was looking at me like, you all right? Like, everything's all right, man. And I remember shaking his hand and told us I'm Tate Stevens, you know, whatever. And I said, you know, Chance is my producer, and Simon that. He's like, oh yeah, Blake, you love Blake, and this and that. And of course, Uncle Irv, George's manager, was there, and he's laughing because he's the one that got us tickets, you know. And it was one of those moments, and George's like, well, let's take a picture real quick, man. I'll sign that in a second, you know. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't know.
Well, I have to tell you, a while ago when I gave you a hug, it was the very first time I gave you a hug because I was just like starstruck like you, and I'm just like, oh my God, this Tate Stevens, you know.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing, and I appreciate it. You know, there are people that I think are a lot more, you know.
Don't cut yourself short. We love you. We think you're awesome, and one day everybody's going to be looking at you going, oh my God, that's Tate Stevens, and they'll be coming to you and tell, you know, they just want X Factor, or not anymore, but American Idol, and say, oh my God, I met Tate Stevens, you know. My girls made that after the first show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Ordinary Angels, you know.
Very cool. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Yep.
Okay, Tracy, so for the Tate Nation, just tell them, introduce him real quick, just tell them we're going to do some meet and greet later on, and I know Jeremy's probably need to get him out of here.
Okay, everybody, Tate Nation, this is Tate Stevens, and we will do meet and greets later, and stick around. Okay.